having said this, I rise in opposition for a couple of reasons, and I'll agree with the sponsor that something needs to be done to the current convention center. We can do a better job than we currently have there. But a couple of reasons that give me pause to this, and as Councilman Foster said, I don't have any personal animus either towards it. It's just strictly the numbers. And HVS, to me, last Thursday, when asked, and we talked to our staff, and everybody here agreed that their predictions, forecasting, was a major consideration in our deciding to move forward with this project. Well, we found out through the research of Councilman Jameson that our own HVS, when calculating number of delegates for different cities for other feasibility studies they were doing, magically came up with the exact same number, 1,725,395 number of predicted delegates for Houston, Atlanta, New Orleans, Chicago, San Diego, St. Louis, Kansas City, and Indianapolis. So what that means is basically they cut and pasted their work product. In one instance that Mr. Jameson showed, they didn't even bother to change the name when they moved it to the next city. So that gives me very, very great pause about their work. And then I asked, well, hey, you're in this business of feasibility studies. Tell me about the times you've gone back and looked at your predictions, and tell me how your forecasting did. I'd like to know the answer to that. Well, he said, nobody's ever paid me to go back and check my work, so I don't know how I've done. But I guess it's pretty good because none of them have gone bankrupt yet. But that's not a very good criteria. We're counting on this generating millions of dollars. That's what the proponents are saying. My other issue that I want to bring up that's very important, and I don't know how you can vote for this once I tell you this, because you're not doing your fiscal and fiduciary responsibility until this is rectified. You can still vote for it, but this has to be done first. And this is what has to be done first. I tried to pass a resolution that said you could not, that we wouldn't use tax revenues to do this project, only revenue bonds. Well, the council voted against that. So that was basically saying we don't care about that. So if that's the case, then we have no choice but to do this with general obligation bonds. You can still use the revenue sources to fund the general obligation bonds, just like the first convention center was done. But our own finance director said it could be as much as $3 or $4 million a year more costly to use the financing package we have now. Now, $4 million times 30 years is $120 million that we're overpaying on this project because we want to rush it through. And that's a disservice to the taxpayer. That could be 6 high schools. That could be a myriad of other projects. So what I would ask you to do, and I'm going to make the motion to defer this, to give Goldman Sachs a chance to come back, finance this with general obligation bonds, use your same buckets of revenue that everybody talks about they're going to do so well. Taxpayers are already on the hook anyway. Let's do it the most cost-effective way if you're going to vote for it. I'm not going to vote for it either way. But at least I can help out the taxpayer and the people voting for this save as much as $120 million on this project. So I'm making the motion to defer.